gentlemen, to the 2021 SEMA Monday Night Reveal. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited to be here, I don't even know where to start. How about first with our friends Patrick and the LVB, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Patrick. You know, this is a very special event because it's an event of appreciation, right? We all know what's happened over the past couple of years. We all know what we've been through. I hope we can all appreciate that we're all here. We're all here together again, and we're all celebrating in this awesome event. There is so much going on that I'm just very happy that you guys have chosen to join us, and I'm happy to be here myself. One thing that this past couple of years has really taught me to do, and that is not take any moment or any person or any opportunity for granted. And being here is taking advantage of all those, so that's fantastic. And of course, the other aspect of tonight is an event of appreciation for all of our exhibitors who have been toiling, working to build the SEMA show, right? So all of the people that have been here putting their displays together and making the SEMA show what it is, we thank you. A big round of applause for everybody who is making the SEMA show. So at this point, what we would like to do is continue to reinforce the fact that what we're going to see here tonight are a lot of different vehicles. The whole concept behind the SEMA reveal was the opportunity to see a few of the higher end vehicles, special vehicles, new builds, come across this stage and get a chance to chat with the builder or the owner or the person behind the car. And really, the backstory is that this kind of takes a page out of Walt Disney's playbook, because these cars were going to make it into the show no matter what, right? So they thought, let's make something fun. We were already having the dinner tonight to have people celebrate the event. So why not make something special out of it and bring the cars back? So what I would like to do is bring up a very special guy here in the SEMA organization, Mr. Ben Kaminsky. Come on up, Ben.
Hello, SEMA. How's it going? Beautiful night tonight. Actually, this is like my third time in Las Vegas, so...
That's it?
I know. I know.
Wow. Well, hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ben Kaminsky is new to the SEMA organization, but not new to the automotive world, right? You're a former engineer, correct?
Yeah, I've been 20 years an engineer now, so I don't know if I should, at this point, start telling jokes, or... I mean, I do have a good one about engineers, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Do you know how you can tell if an engineer is an extrovert? He stares at your shoes instead of his own.
Nice. Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm telling you, these guys are the best.
We got your back, man.
So, Ben here came from the world of engineering and is now helping us out with the SEMA Garage in Detroit. And no doubt you're familiar with the SEMA Garage in California, and that is a high-level product research and development facility with an emissions testing lab and 3D printers and scanners and engineering resources. And it was so busy that the SEMA team said, hey, we need to do another one of these right in the backyard of the OEs, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, and I'm honored to be a part of the SEMA organization, and I'm honored to start the SEMA Garage in what I consider to be still the beating heart of the automotive industry in the United States, which is Detroit, Michigan. So, thank you. So, yeah, without further ado, what I wanted to do was introduce the SEMA Awards for the Vehicle Awards this evening. So, and I'm honored to do that. And thank you, Kevin, for the introduction. Very kind.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
I know this is only your third time in Vegas, but you're on your own.
I'm on my own. Wow. So I take center stage my third time in Vegas. I guess those aren't bad odds. I'd take that at the craps table. Anyway, so tonight I have the privilege, based on the voting that the SEMA manufacturers, you folks have voted on, for the SEMA Awards for 2021. And really, the award was designed and is to recognize our OEM partners for those vehicles that really lend themselves and help us create, the vehicles in the aftermarket that we want with the accessorization and customization. So we kind of have a saying at SEMA that we, as the aftermarket, can't really do what we do until the OEMs do what they do. So without further ado, the first award of the evening is our SEMA 4x4 SUV category. And the finalists are the Chevy Tahoe, the Stellantis Jeep Wrangler, but the winner of the 2021 SEMA 4x4 and SUV of the Year is the Ford Bronco. So here to accept the award for Ford is Dave Parasak. Please welcome Dave Parasak. He's the Engineering Director of Unibody Applications. Congratulations. The next award that I want to announce is actually a brand new award for this year. It's called the Midsize Truck of the Year Award. So, and without further ado, the finalists for the SEMA Midsize Truck Award are the Stellantis Jeep Gladiator, the Ford Ranger, and the winner of the 2021 SEMA Midsize Truck of the Year is the Toyota Tacoma. So please welcome Lisa Matarazzo, the Group Vice President of Toyota Marketing. Okay, our next category for the evening is the SEMA Car of the Year for 2021. And the finalists for the Car of the Year are the Nissan GTR, the Chevrolet Corvette, which is a bit later, a lot more of, and the 2021 SEMA Car of the Year is the Ford Mustang. Accepting the award for Ford is Phil Colorino, the Executive Director for Global Programs. The next category, hotly contested category, is Full-Size Truck of the Year. The finalists are the Chevrolet Silverado, the Stellantis Ram, and the 2021 SEMA Truck of the Year goes to the Ford F-Series pickup. Please welcome from Ford, Jackie DeMarco, the F-Series Chief Program Manager. Okay, so the last category for the evening, so you guys are almost done putting up with me, is the Sport Compact Car of the Year for 2021. And the finalists are the Honda Civic, the Nissan Sentra, but the 2021 SEMA Sport Compact Car of the Year is the Toyota Supra. Please welcome back Lisa Matarazzo, the Group Vice President for Toyota Marketing. that's all for me for this evening. I did want to announce one thing, is next year we will be doing an electric vehicle category in addition to the categories that we had this evening. So I look forward to seeing you all throughout the week this week and again next year. So thank you. Turn it back over.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick of the LVB once again. All right, my friends, this is the SEMA Reveal, where we bring all kinds of different vehicles up to our stage, and we're starting off with a bang, right? So when you see a car like this, there's only one thing you're going to think about, and that is right there. That's Hoonigan.
Yes, sir. It is actually our 10-year anniversary today, on this very day where we launched at SEMA, November 1st, 2011.
That is fantastic, and it was right here, like exactly 10 years ago. You guys ever think that you would have grown to be the gigantic force in media and entertainment that Hoonigan has become?
Well, I want to say yes, no. No, you know, it grew like wildfire, and it's pretty rad to see the evolution of it go from just having, you know, a small, essentially t-shirt brand that was building cars and trying to do cool videos to sell shirts to, you know, now having the Burnyard out there for a third year and,
yeah,
you know, just bringing a big crowd and smashing for everybody.
Well, what I love is when Hoonigans finish up a video and they release it, the entire internet stops. I mean, you guys bend the world with some of those videos, and I sit there and go, you know, I've shot video all over the place. I don't know how you lock down Long Beach or Los Angeles or any of the cities you guys have done this stuff in. It's amazing.
Excellent producers.
For sure.
And some of them, you know, like, thank you for all those city council people that have put up with this.
Guys put in a lot of votes, a lot of tickets to the Fireman's Ball, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so what are we looking at here? We got a supercharged donk. What's going on?
Yeah, so, you know, this was kind of par for the course here. You know, actually, by the way, Brian and Ken, the founders of Hoonigan, apologize for not being able to be here yet. We had a couple cars getting finished in typical SEMA fashion.
That's right, man.
At the very last minute. So, we did have this here, and this is our 71 Caprice.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. Probably not one of our guys. Anyway, it's a 71 Caprice. It's powered by a 540 cubic inch big block Chevy, obviously with a blower. And yes, it is a donk. This is a passion project of Brian Scotto.
Yeah.
It's actually the first donk that was actually at SEMA he brought, because it was for Rides Magazine in their booth, I think 2006.
Yeah.
I believe he was the editor then.
Right on. So, you know, we're starting to see these things evolve into being actual high-performance vehicles. I mean, there's a whole, like, racing league starting. People drag racing these donk cars.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, actually. Donk Master is actually here, and he'll be performing in our show.
Oh, right on.
Maybe we'll scumbag him and actually doing this donuts, but we'll see. But, yeah, they, NDRA, these things get crazy fast, and they're gigantic. I mean, look at it. It's a boat. It's a 71 Caprice. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't light. And the tires are pretty ridiculous, right?
They are. So what size wheels are we on in this thing?
I believe this one's on, it's either 28 or 26. I don't personally know, so I don't have a tape measure with me.
I see the cage in the car. I see the 540, the supercharger. I see the nitrous lines. What else is done to the suspension of these things? I know a lot of them have a body lift of sorts and stuff just to clear the wheels.
Usually on these, I mean, there's a lot of like reinforcement for the frame. I believe on this one, see, this is upsetting. As soon as I went over to the race team side, they built this, and I was like, come on. Right, anyway, but usually, like, you know, you can do like coil over changes, stuff like that. You know, like more modern suspension to get it to hook. Yeah. You know, get it to handle a little bit better, and then clearance for these bad boys.
Yeah, sure. Open the wheel wells.
Yeah.
So it's just another example of all the different products and things that are made by SEMA member companies and exhibitors apply to just about anything. The creativity is endless, and even if it's not, you know, something that, you know, you would be interested in building, it's so cool to see somebody else taking something and making something ridiculous out of it, especially guys like Hoonigan who are going to do some awesome video and craziness over there. I got to say, congratulations again on 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear 10 years of Hoonigan.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming out, man.
Appreciate it.
And I'm going to get out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick, LVP. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you two gentlemen these microphones here. Yeah, so...
Dangerous.
James is getting heckled already.
Well,
Where are you?
Before we get started here, guys, I want to point something out. Now, so far, our first two vehicles here at the 2021 SEMA Monday Night Reveal have been large vehicles. This one, you're going to run it up the stage, and the stage said, no, wait a minute, you need to keep that down there. Give me a little break. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a couple of friends of ours, Mr. Ant Ansted and James Marsden.
How's it going?
Do you feel moderately underdressed?
Yes, I do.
All you need is $100. There's a place right over there. You're in business.
Fantastic. We'll have to sell the car for it, but we'll do it.
Yeah, those really poor Hollywood actors. Oh.
That's right. Well, so speaking of the car, right? So, Ant, you are working on a new show. It's put on a few episodes called Celebrity IOU Joyride, right? Tell us about the premise of the show, because I really dig it.
Yeah, it's a show on Discovery Plus, so those of you that haven't seen it, it's called Celebrity IOU Joyride. Myself and Christy Lee, that this crowd will know, we team up with some well-known people. In this case, James Marsden.
In this case, not so well known.
It's not my car.
We team up with a well-known celebrity, and we assemble a vehicle to give away to somebody that truly deserves it. And in James's case, I think you better tell us who the deserving recipient was.
Yes, so I was a fan of Ant's for a couple of weeks.
Let's talk more about that.
Before we went into this. And I got the opportunity. I love the idea of the show. I love the sort of gifting element of it. I've been a car nut my whole life. My brother-in-law, Will, is the only person that I knew that was more into vehicles and anything with a wheel on it than I was. And he had a 1963 Buick Electra that he always wanted to restore and electrify, which would have been impossible if you're going to do that the conventional way, because it's way too heavy. So he had to sell this Buick he had in 4 generations of his family for, I don't know, it was a couple $1,000s or something, and say goodbye to it to pay some bills. And I thought, he's one of the kindest, most generous, loving people that I know. I want to do something nice for him. So I got with this man, and he came up with a plan to electrify, to not only restore this beautifully, but to electrify it and make it a lot quicker than it was in the 60s.
Well, I bet. So this thing new probably had a 401 Buick nailhead motor with a 2-speed trans?
You should ask Will, standing over here.
Oh, so it was a Wildcat. So the thing that's cool about these cars is they came in a variety of different body styles, and I believe this one has what is known as the Park Avenue style, which is actually a slightly shorter trunk. They came longer, right? So was Will's 4-door like this, or was it different, or is this similar to the car that he had?
I believe Will's was a 4-door, you didn't have the A-pillar, I think.
It was a hardtop.
Right.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so how do you take something this big, this heavy, and electrify, like you're saying?
Tell them, it's wonderul.
My job's done. I got to sit here and look. No, I enlisted this man. He knew how to do it, and so what we did is we took the guts out of the original car, and supplanted the original guts of the sort of junker that we found with a 2020 whatever Karma Rivera GT, which is a 550 brake horsepower electric supercar essentially.
Yeah.
And they restored this original 63 body and basically dropped it on top of that skateboard. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, the Karma Rivera GT, if you guys know it, electric car, hybrid car. We took a 9-inch grinder, cut the roof off it. This is a brand new car, by the way. Cut all the excessive side bits out, took the guts out the Buick, and get this, the wheelbase on the 60s Electra is only 35 millimeters. You might need to give that in inches.
That's about half inch.
35, about 3 inches. 35 millimeters off the Revero. So we lowered the body on, modified the front arch so it's been cut and moved back, flared the rear arches and raised it a little bit so we can get the rear wheels on and off, but actually it fit pretty well.
How about the track width?
No, we didn't change the track width at all. So hidden under there, and if you get a chance, look inside the interior, hidden under there is a brand new road-going Karma GT.
That's unbelievable.
One of the coolest things that, one of the touches was, or challenges actually, was reducing the weight of just the body itself. I helped disassemble this car, and I held one of the original doors, and you don't ever want to hold one of those things. So Ant and Christy and company decided to make a custom carbon fiber hood and trunk. So what you see on the trunk here and on the hood is all custom carbon fiber to get this car on a diet.
The only ones in the world, no doubt.
And that's what we were going for too.
Yeah, I can't imagine many Karma Electra owners running out for a carbon hood or bonnet.
Yeah, or Buick Electras. So I'm a huge Buick fan. We actually have a 62 Electra convertible in our shop right now we're working on, and I know that these cars are a little bit different, and a lot of people think, they have full-size Chevy parts from the same era fit. Well, they don't, and especially if you're gutting the bottom side and starting over. So another challenge is always the instrumentation, the steering. How much of that is still the Karma?
Yeah, actually the drivetrain remains pretty much intact. If you look, there's an integration between the Karma dash to reach up to the Buick dash. Track's the same, steering's the same, electric's the same, propulsion's the same. We had to modify and flare the body so that the door's closed. We added this roll cage because of the amount of torque that the Karma gives. But other than that, we cut the front crash structure off the Revero as well. So yeah, other than that, there is hidden underneath that Buick a brand new Karma, which is probably the best thing for a Karma.
How much of this did you do on the show? If we watch the episode, how much of the transformation are we going to see?
Well, this man did loads of it, actually. I was impressed.
Why was that impressive? I mean, look, I did this, one, to do a nice thing for someone I care about, but also why would you do a show like this without getting your hands dirty? That was the most exciting part to me, one of the most exciting. So we got in and we found a dead rat. We found, cobweb spiders. It was
great. He picked up an angle grinder, went for it. Yeah, he did get stuck in, and a couple of our celebrities didn't. So hats off.
Yeah,
I love it. I grew up in Oklahoma. I've always loved cars, working on cars. I never could do it to this degree. So I had the opportunity to, with his guidance, of course, do some welding. My son's over here. He helped with the build as well.
nice.
So it's a family affair. It was nice.
Right on. And I was going to say, being a Midwestern guy, no doubt you've pulled a car out of a barn that's full of dead animals and everything else. So
Yeah, that's a must.
yeah, well, that is super cool. I really appreciate the engineering you put into it because you didn't really alter the outside that much. It's still, you could take this to a Buick show, I guess until you open the hood, but people really might not know the difference.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, actually. What would the Buick community think of this? What do you think?
I think they would welcome this. I mean, I think the key for me was, and Ed was really respectful of this, is that we wanted to stay true to the original as much as we could.
Going to be on
Knowing
stage
that,
there Thursday,
we
Friday.
have a complete new drivetrain, a new engine.
one of the hosts
If you're going to electrify this thing,
He's one of my hosts
the
on my
weight is going to
podcast.
come from just sticking the batteries in.
We've
It's going to
interviewed,
need
like,
to propel this
a whole
thing.
bunch of people from Motor Trend.
Everything outside of that, we lopped off the tops of the seats to give it that more sort of 60s bench seat look.
Sure.
There were so many touches, and just the level of detail that they went to maintain the integrity of the original was, I think, really special.
Well, I think the other nice little cherry on top is that this is a Buick Electra, and you made it electric. And I think, if Buick's going to do a new electric car, the Electra is the best name ever, even though it's named after Greek mythology of the character Electra, who killed everybody, she was a very angry person. So I don't know how they ended up.
Well, we can work that into a drag race context, can't
Good luck,
we?
Will.
Yeah, well, there you go. So the car's awesome. We really appreciate you guys bringing it up. What did Will think?
I mean, I think his feet hadn't hit the ground yet. He saw it back when we filmed the episode. I think his eyes haven't rolled back into the the normal position where they're supposed to be. He's just beyond thrilled, and that just warms my heart to see the big just grin on his face that hasn't left his face since July, back when we shot it.
That's great, and I think that is the key element of your show, is gifting something to somebody who really helped somebody else become successful, and those are the people that you really want to help out. But speaking of that side of things, you are a busy man. You've always got a lot of projects going on. Anything you want to chat about now, or what can we look for? Or?
Yeah, it's been a busy year, and surprisingly, I know it's been a tough last 18 months for everyone. And once Hollywood got the green light to start things back up again, and for us it was March, everything got shot out of a cannon. So I just finished the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog with Jim Carrey. Just finished the.
I love that 3 people love that movie.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
The 3rd season of Dead to Me on Netflix, and
there you go.
There's a couple more. I'm gonna find one. Hang on, I got a few more projects I did this year. The sequel to Enchanted, a Disney movie I did back in. There we go. I knew there were some Enchanted fans at SEMA.
I can't believe the SEMA
You come to
fans.
SEMA to find the Disney Enchanted fans. Great.
That's it. Well, this is Disney for car people. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously this show, and I'm working on something else I can't really talk about yet, but it'll be cool, and so it's been busy. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. And
Going on with Kindig?
So you've done what, 6
Going on with
episodes
Kindig?
now?
Going on the
Yeah,
rant
there's 6,
stage,
so this
you're
is
up
one
there,
of
right?
6 that's available at the moment. You can go and watch it on Discovery Plus. So please, hey
This is like
Jensen.
the best angle. I don't know
You can go watch it on
why do you want me
Discovery
to
Plus,
watch it?
and James and Will's car is just one of the 6.
Fantastic. But we've got one of your cohorts over here that might want to join us as well.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
Jensen Button,
2009
champion.
Formula One World Champion.
Jensen, welcome to the stage. Nice
Yeah,
to meet you. Let's play musical microphones. We have another one.
Confused. There's a lot of people on this stage.
Well, so we'll clarify things. So James was involved with this project, but Jensen, you and Ant have something else brewing that is pretty darn cool.
Yes, good evening everyone, first of all. This is a wonderful car, beautiful. It's great to see it here in person. Obviously Chevrolet has a car in a box over there, which is quite cool. But we didn't even bother bringing our car here today because it's that cool. It's too cool to be seen. Anyway, so yes, we're working on something very exciting, or we have been working on something very exciting in the last couple of years, and it is Radford, which is a coach building company. Do you want to lead into Radford and where it started?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Radford was a company founded in 1948 by a guy called Harold Radford. It's a coach builder. He came out the gate at the Earls Court London Motor Show with a coach-built Rolls-Royce, the Radford Rolls-Royce. Radford then went on to build some really famous cars. My favourite is probably the Aston Martin DB5 shooting brake. Radford made the first ever Ford GT40. A lot of people don't know that. The white Ford GT40 with the black bonnet was made in the UK by Radford. And then Radford went and got this really amazing celebrity clientele. Every single member of the Beatles owned a Radford. Enzo Ferrari had one, Peter Sellers, Steve McQueen. So Radford had this real kind of iconic celebrity culture. And what Jensen, myself, Roger, Pat, Mark Stubbs, we got together and we revived Radford the brand. And in doing so, we partnered with Lotus, a company also founded in 1948, and together we built a Radford Lotus. Now those of you that haven't seen it, if you Google it or go on social media, the car is here. It's in the main hall on the SEMA stand. And in Lotus's 73 years, they've never coach built a car. So it's a real historic moment for us. It's the last ever gas-powered Lotus. So again, it's historic for us. And Lotus have only ever collaborated 3 times. Ford Cortina, Talbot Sunbeam, and 33 years ago with the Colton. So for some British guys getting together to be able to partner with somebody as iconic as Lotus and to produce an all-carbon supercar is a real privilege.
But the whole idea behind coach building is that we don't just work with one manufacturer. So it's great working with Lotus, fantastic OEM, but the aim for us is to work with many more in the future. We've already got 2 lined up, which are very exciting. And we'll tell you very soon, but not this evening.
But
One
the
of
next
the things, you guys are kind of downplaying this car. We need to hear some specs on the Type 62 too, because this car is insane.
It is. It really is a work of art. When I look at the car, I get very emotional about certain cars because I'm a racing driver and
Yeah, you're a massive pansy.
exactly.
Thank you.
So I love racing cars and the passion that you get from a racing car, and a car that has soul really means a lot to me. So I love F1 cars, but for me, Le Mans is very special. You know, it's a 24-hour race. And it's a proper team sport, and those cars were wonderful back in the 60s, 70s, the most beautiful cars I think in the world, and it looks like it should be. The Type 62 2 looks like it should be driving down the Mulsanne Straight. It's got these beautiful front wheel arches. The cockpit's not big, I must say. It's a squeeze with us in there, but it's a good squeeze.
It's worth it.
Exactly, it's worth it.
Yeah.
But the car that we have here is the Gold Leaf car, which is red and white with the gold piping, and it's 500 horsepower and it weighs around 2,200 pounds. So it's super light, a lot of power, but it's not about the power really. It's about the feel. And Lotuses are very famous for being drivers' cars. And adding lightness. That's their slogan, add lightness. And we definitely have with this car. And I've enjoyed it massively the last couple of years working with these guys on developing this car and driving this car and getting it to a point where I just know that whoever buys it is going to love the experience. And the aim is to enjoy it wherever you are, whether you're driving, you know, I live in California, the cars are built in California. 405 is the worst road in the world. But if the car can work on the 405 and still make you smile, we've done our job right.
So it's nice. It's Formula One champion approved.
It is.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I'm involved, so I'm going to say that. But
Well, you know.
Le Mans driver as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And 405 driver. Thank you. Well, very cool. We're going to check the car out this week for sure, and it's all over social media. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for James, Jensen, and Ant, and the cars, and the whole thing. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. And Patrick, thank you for that. This is the 2021 SEMA Monday Night Reveal, and so far we've seen some pretty interesting cars. We saw something that is on the cartoon side of the scale, then we saw the electric Electra, and now we're seeing something that is straight from the future. This is a very special car, and I'm looking forward to learning all about it. As soon as we get this thing situated, we're going to have our driver step out. Hello, sir. Welcome to the SEMA Reveal.
Thank you. My name is Hiroshi Tamura, Nissan Chief Product Specialist.
Thank you, Hiroshi.
This is my partner, by the way.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
My main dance partner.
Main dance partner. Well, I love it.
Yeah.
So this is the 2023 Nissan Z.
Exactly. This is a new one. The all new Z car from maybe 22 spring.
Okay.
We can deliver for you guys.
Well, what I love about this car, and I haven't seen much of it yet because it is so new, is so the Nissan 240Z came out in what, 68?
1969.
1969. So you got the 240, the 280, the 300, the 350, the 370, and now the new Z, and they all share the same DNA. It is obvious that this comes from that lineage. You guys advanced the style, but you didn't deviate.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Very, how can I say, for Nissan of the root or origin or energy, what is for important for the car restoration from the beginning?
Yes.
You know, I mean, for a sports car, it's easy to say that for how can I say, power or something like a performance like that. But even the important is how beauty or cool or something like elegant. That is the other DNA for this music.
Sure. Well, the other thing that I like about it is very simple. The design is very clean. The front end is clean. You don't have a lot of things stuck to the car.
Yes, that's the intention. And especially, I can show you for this. So normally, that's kind of character line. It's always like a wedge. Because of the wedge is more strong energy. But look at that. This is the down, 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 down. And like this great explosion, like a crouching start. That's the energy behind the four FR vehicles of some shape.
Yes.
Like a very nice athlete of the masculine, but it's not the show of masculine. Like a super athlete
strength.
of the,
Yeah.
or the energy is behind this back.
This is cool because these are the details that you're not going to read about in online reviews of this car, the insights, the design. And one of the reasons why this car is here is, of course, SEMA is all about the automotive aftermarket. Nissan has already made some modifications to this car, but this is a beautiful platform to modify even further.
Our task is basically to produce the base car to entertainment for you guys, like a SEMA show of the tuning or customize, depend on you guys. That's the automobile company's important behavior, I believe. For example, the GTR or also the other vehicles, we already delivered so many cars in the world.
Now, at the corporate headquarters, do you look, when you sell a car like this, that your team has put so much time into designing and refining, and then you see somebody out in the world modifying it, does that bring you joy?
Yeah, I love the tuning car, by the way. So I can enjoy about, for my 32 Skyline GTR, already 32 years old. It's a 600 horsepower. I love this kind of performance. But again, this car, please be careful to contact because it's beauty. And it's, how can I say, sleek. So how to modify, how to add something aerodynamics by SEMA show, guys. I'm one of the big curiosity challenge.
Part of the beauty of this particular model is the color.
Oh yeah. It's a typical some origin of yellow start from this car, and even the other color, which is a blue. So we have a blue and yellow of the history heritage.
What is the name of this color?
It's Ikazuchi yellow. Ikazuchi is a thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Well, so the other aspect is the performance, right? So if I'm not mistaken, this is a twin turbo V6?
That's VR30DDTT, which is direct injection of twin turbo, which came from 400R, but we add a special some recirculation valve because of the dance partner. Dance partner need a response. And 400 horsepower.
Nice.
And the foot pound is 375. Sorry, I don't know about 375. 475 Newton meter, by the way.
Nice. And tell me about the transmission.
Good question. The transmission is one of the synchronized with the dance partner, important of 6 manual gearbox. And also, if you want to go the more easy daily use, so you can choose about for new 9-speed
9-speed automatic.
Right, new one.
Wow. And it retains the front engine rear drive format.
Yes, it's very traditional, but I want to say retro, new, modern.
And proper.
Right.
Yeah. So this particular model is, it's a package, right? What is the name of this one called, and how many of these are going to be made?
Excuse me?
How many of these will be made in this model option?
It's base, it's sports, and the other upper grade is performance. And we are going to sell some limited version of the prototype, proto spec.
Proto spec.
At the beginning.
Yeah. Somewhere I heard that number is also going to be 240.
I believe so.
Excellent. Well, this is a real pleasure for you to share this car with us here. I'm sure there are people here that are looking at this saying, Mr. Hiroshi, I can think of a way to make aerodynamic improvements. They're out here. But I love the wheels, I love the brake package, I love that it's powerful, and that Nissan is dipping back into their heritage to move into the future. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Nissan Z. visit from our friends at General Motors. So right now, I'd like to bring our friend up, Mr. Jim Campbell, who is the Vice President of Performance and Motorsports for General Motors. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Great to see you again.
Great to see you.
It's your show, buddy.
All right. SEMA, we're here. We're in person. Hey, big shout out to Chris Kirsting and Chairman James Lawrence for making SEMA happen in person in 2021. They're out here. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you guys for bringing us back live. There was not a chance that we weren't going to be here. We love SEMA and we're so glad that you're all here in person. Also with our team is the head of Chevrolet, is Steve Hills here. He's over here. So Steve's great to be with you. Our Vice President of Engineering for GM, Michelle Gardner's here. Michelle, great to see you. There she is, wave. Also from GMC, our Director of Marketing, Rich Latek. And we've got some great stuff from GMC, so Rich, thanks for being here. You know, our company and SEMA, we have a long history together. It goes back to Chevrolet with a small block V8 and all the great products, performance, on track, off track. But we love coming to SEMA and debuting products and powertrains for the street, for the track, for off-road, for hot rodders, everywhere. And that's all of us together. So what do you say we get started? And to do that, I want to introduce our Vice President of Global Buick and GMC, Duncan Aldred, to help me introduce the first video. Duncan, come on out. And with him is Roger McCormick, our Director of Accessories and Performance Parts. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. It's great to have you here. Well, Duncan, what'd you bring?
Well, it's my first time at SEMA. I've been dying to come for years, been trying to think of a very special reason to come here, and GMC's really done it. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's first super truck, the GMC Hummer EV.
Duncan, looks great. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the Hummer EV.
Well, first of all, you just got to smile when you see it coming along there with the lights on the front. But this is the world's first super truck. It's got 1,000 horsepower, nearly 12,000 pounds of torque, so it's an amazing vehicle. But it's fantastic whether it's on-road or off-road. On-road, it can do 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. It's got the latest generation Super Cruise hands-free driving, automatic lane change assist, capable of towing huge vehicles as well in hands-free driving mode. And the four-wheel steer, believe it or not, makes this so nimble around town. It's got the turning circle of a compact car. It's absolutely fantastic. But that's just the beginning of it, because off-road, it's a true off-road beast. It's got a 6-inch lift in extract mode, and it really can go anywhere and pretty much do anything. So absolute amazing super truck.
That's great. Thank you for bringing the GMC Hummer EV. And on the other side of the truck is Roger McCormick. Roger, talk about the way people can make their Hummer EV all theirs.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Yeah, absolutely. We know these owners are going to want to customize their rigs, and we've got nearly 200 accessories that'll help them do, as you say, Jim, make it their own. And on this truck specifically, we've got 24 accessories. I'm just going to touch on a few of them, and we'll start with, if you take a look at the top, it's got roof rail cross rails, and it's got an elevate rack, and all of that holds up an 80-inch Free Spirit Adventure premium tent. And below that, you can see vertically mounted off-road tires, and there's 2 of them, right? So there's 2 of them, so you can get 1 or you can get 2, depending on how extreme you want your off-road adventure to be. So really exciting. And then when the going gets rocky, we have rocker assist steps, rocker protection with integrated assist steps, so it's really exciting. And then when you saw when the truck was coming up, when the light fades, you can go with confidence, because this truck right here is equipped with a 50-inch light bar. It's got accessory auxiliary pod lights forward of the A-pillars. Even in the tailgate, there's assist lighting in the Multi-Pro tailgate. And speaking of the Multi-Pro tailgate, it was, as you would expect from GMC Hummer EV, it will have available the Kicker tailgate, multi-pro tailgate audio system. So when you're at a tailgate party, when you're around a campfire, it'll come in really handy. So we're really excited about that. So one additional point before I conclude, it's important to note, and I think really exciting to think about, that all the design and engineering that went into the accessories, the people that did that worked side by side with the same people that designed and engineered the truck. So you know you can go with confidence, all the great features that Duncan mentioned, all the accessories, when you're ready to go, when the owner's ready to go, the accessories in the truck are ready to go as well. So back to you, Duncan.
Hey, thanks, Roger. So loads of great accessories here, loads more features, but I know Jim's got a lot more great things to show you tonight. Obviously, the one that really captures everyone's attention is Crab Walk, where all four wheels can make you drive in a diagonal direction. Believe me, when you do that and just seeing the horizon do that, it's a very strange feeling. But smiles come absolutely standard on this vehicle. I've never been in a vehicle that makes me smile as much. If you want to see it, get in the West Hall tomorrow. We got a great display, not just this Hummer, but also the Hummer SUV, and a very special extra, we've got the Extreme E racing version, the Chip Ganassi racing version, which competes in the Extreme E series. Fantastic trio of vehicles. And if that wasn't enough, we've also got the Canyon Overlander in the North Hall as well. So lots to see from GMC. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Jim?
Duncan, Roger, thanks for bringing the GMC Hummer EV electric. It's amazing. Check it out. Thank you, guys. All right, let's take it away. Now I want to shift to Chevy. To help me do that, I want to introduce our global head of design, Phil Zach, for Chevrolet. Phil, come on up. Come on up, Phil. And with him, he's our director of performance and racing propulsion, Russell Bladis. Welcome, guys. Well, I think it's about time we bring up a new definition of performance. What do you say? Let's bring it up.
Bring it. Bring it up.
Woo!
We're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the all-new 2023 Corvette Z06 Coupe. What do you think? And behind the wheel, he's an 11-year veteran of Corvette racing, 15 total wins, including the 24 Hours of Daytona, the 12 Hours of Sebring, and he's won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, not once, but twice. Tommy Milner, driver of the number 4 Corvette C8R. Welcome, buddy. Well, Tommy, there it is, Corvette Z06. You know Corvette pretty well. You've won a lot of races with Corvette. What do you think about the Z06?
What a machine. It looks fast, it sounds amazing. It's taken everything that made the C8 Stingray special and amplified it. And as we know, the Z06 is all about performance, and that starts with the heart of the car, the engine. That engine has powered our Corvette C8R race car to 2 championships and a lot of race wins, so it's got plenty of performance.
That engine sound is pretty familiar to you. Phil is the design chief of Chevrolet. Tell us about the design of the Z06.
I hope you like what you see and also what you heard. But the biggest, all right, so do we. Glad you're there. Hey, what we wanted to do is everything that we designed on this was to enhance the performance. And as we know, wider is always better on the track. So what you see here is the track on this is about 4 inches wider than current C8. Technically 3.6 inches. But we've also gone through on the wheels, largest we've had on Corvette, front 20s, rear 21s, and also the wheels, forged aluminum, and then you have an optional carbon fiber. So again, lightweight, performance-based. What we've also done, first time for Corvette Z06, front and rear fascias are unique to the vehicle here. We did a lot of work in the wind tunnel, flows better, more downforce. Obviously we needed a new rear quarter, new fenders for the muscular stance, all outstanding. On the flow and the performance, we also have spoilers that you can adjust, high wing, low wing, interior's done, bespoke, different interior combinations. This is Adrenaline Red. We think we've got a bespoke exotic for a hell of a price.
That's great, I love it. And let's talk about the powertrain. Russ, this is your area. Tell everybody about the powertrain, and Tommy knows it well.
Yeah, pretty amazing. As Tommy said, the DNA that's in this vehicle is direct from the C8R. 5.5 liter, flat crank, 4-valve, normally aspirated. The highest performance ever out of a normally aspirated engine. 670 horsepower, dual clutch transaxle. Really incredible. We worked extremely close with the production team and our race team, and all the learnings, as Tommy said, 2 championships, pretty amazing with this basic package. We continued to feed all that learning, really a true tech transfer story, right from the race engines directly to the production team that's come to this car, and we're just so psyched about it.
That's great. You know, the connection to the race program is very special. Tommy, been a good season for you, and how are you going to wrap up the year?
Yeah, it's been a great season so far. The team, I think we've got 7 wins on the season. We have 1 race left, Petit Le Mans, in 2 weekends. Going for 4 in a row for us in the 4 cars, so hopefully we can make that happen.
Tommy's teammate Dick Tandy, they won in VIR, and they locked up the manufacturer's championship for Chevrolet in the IMSA GTLM, so thank you guys. Well, hey, when we're talking about Corvette coupes, there's one more thing we got to take a look at. Let's bring it up. Bring it on up. Let's go. Bring it on up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet the 2023 Corvette Z06 convertible. And behind the wheel, he's an original member of Corvette Racing, 30 race wins. Overall winner at 24 Hours of Daytona 2001, 4-time winner of the 12 Hours of Sebring, 2-time 24 Hours Le Mans winner. He's a 3-time driver's champion. Please welcome Hall of Fame driver Ron Phillips. All right, Ron, bring it on. That's what we like to hear. And as Ron's getting out of the car, on the other side, I want to welcome our GM Director of Motorsports Competition Engineering, Mark Stilo. And for those of you at SEMA, you may know Mark. He knows a lot about performance. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. So, Ron, you have a lot of time on Corvette, for sure. You guys, if you choose your mic there, it's okay. So what do you think about the Corvette convertible?
Well,
Z06.
Jim, I've never been much of a convertible fan, but the C8 Stingray is awesome, but this Z06 is absolutely stunning. And yes, I want one.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, that's great. And Mark Stilo, you've had a unique role before you became Director of Motorsports Competition Engineering. You were doing driver development and development on vehicles. You spent some time behind the wheel of this one, right?
Yeah, I was at Le Mans. We were racing the C8R race car at Le Mans, and I snuck away, went up to the Nürburgring. I got an opportunity to drive the Z06 around the ring, and the car, really, you could feel the DNA that kind of bled over from the race car into the street car. The car just felt natural on the track. It was just a weapon around the Nürburgring. So just an awesome car.
That's great. Well, that's good. It's great to hear. You were 2 guys that know a lot about Corvette and what it's like to be behind the wheel of high performance models. Ron, when people buy Corvettes, enthusiasts that are saying, "I'm going to get a Corvette," started with C7, now C8. Tell us, what do they get that's related to your school?
Yeah, the great part of the Corvette ownership is it comes with 2-day school, and it's got my name on it, and it's at Spring Mountain, about 45-minute drive from here. So if we can take this one and go west.
Oh, I see. I see this one. You must have taken it with them. I see.
No, it's a great opportunity for owners to spend the time over a 2-day curriculum and really get comfortable and more familiar to understand the capabilities of certainly the C8. And I mean, that can be an intimidating process, and through the 2 days they're going to leave at the end of it being far more knowledgeable about the capabilities of the car and also their own capabilities. So that's the goal, to really enhance that ownership experience.
That's great. And there's some Corvette owners out here, and a few of you have been to the school, at Ron's school. It's phenomenal. You learn all about the car, and you take your driver's skill up yourself. The combination's amazing. Guys, thanks for coming out. Ron's going to have a display next to Chevrolet, your driving school. Stop by the Chevrolet display. Stop by and see Ron. Mark will be there as well. Talk about racing, talk about Corvettes. Guys, thanks for bringing the Corvette Z06 convertible out, and we'll see you guys in the display tomorrow, all right? Thank you, guys. Well, that's great. Let's take it away. For the next vehicle, I want to bring up a couple of my friends that are helped us design this next vehicle. For Performance Motorsports and Accessory Design Studio, Mark Mainfield. Mark, come on out. Mark's touched almost every car in the Chevy display and the Hummer display, so Mark, welcome, buddy. It's great to see you. Great to see you. And from our Performance Variants and Parts Engineering team, Dom Lester. Dom, come on out. Dom knows a lot about performance, by the way, loves drag racing, does that in his spare time. But he leads our performance variants and high performance parts team, right? Welcome, guys. Thank you. Well, I think it's time to talk about a cool concept featuring one of our Chevrolet Performance crate engines. It's all about off-road. Let's take a look. Bring it up. Yeah, bring it up. Shall we bring it up? Bring it up. Let's go. Oh yeah. Well, I'd like you to meet the Chevrolet Beast concept. It's created as a showcase of the power and off-road capability of Chevrolet Performance. And here it is. Bring it up. Jeff Trush, bring it up. Oh, yeah. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you, Jeff. All right, guys, come on up. Come on out. Let's talk about this. There's the Beast. So, Mark, tell us about the concept and kind of the inspiration from your perspective as a designer. Take it away.
Thank you, Jim. When we worked on this project, we really wanted to create the ultimate off-road toy. We wanted to focus on proportions that would give it amazing off-road capabilities. We gave it beadlock wheels with 37-inch OD tires in the corners. We gave it an open-air feel with removable doors and a really aggressive design. Couldn't be more excited about it.
It looks good. Dom, let's talk about the chassis, the capability.
Yes.
That's your department. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Jim, you know, to really be that beast for the off-road customer, we sporting a 91-inch track width here with a custom front and rear suspension, custom control arms in the front, and a 4-link with a panel bar in the rear. Also custom dampers here that allow us to have 12 inches of wheel travel in the front and 15.5 inches of wheel travel in the rear. As far as chassis dimensions, one of the things here to really bolster our off-road performance, we have a greater than 45-degree departure and approach angle to really allow for that rock climbing and the off-road. So it's really a beast that it is.
Love the chassis components, love the design. Dom, what about under the hood?
Yeah, so to really capitalize on that suspension and chassis, we obviously couldn't shortchange ourselves in the power department. So this has a 6.2-liter supercharged LT4, 650 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque, coupled with a 10-speed transmission, a 10L90, with a 2-speed transfer case, so definitely trying to put the power down with the suspension chassis.
I love it. It shows the possibilities of performance and off-road capability with the Chevy crate engine. It's going to be on our display tomorrow. The guys will be there, plus a lot of folks. Jeff Trush behind the wheel, help build this thing. Can answer all your questions. What a cool concept, guys. Thanks for bringing it out.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
All right, let's take it away. Thank you, Jeff. Go get him, buddy. Please take it to the display and not the desert today. Well, hey, that's just the beginning of what's coming from General Motors, from GMC Hummer EV, from Chevrolet, but there's lots more. Cars, trucks, crossovers, crate engines, transmissions, controllers. And we want to make sure you visit the GMC display, as Duncan said, in the West Hall. Chevrolet will be in the Central Hall with all of our goods. And also, I want to say one other thing. In about 10 minutes, you're going to see another really special Chevrolet EV. So hang on. It's here in about 10 minutes. I want to tell you to enjoy your time at SEMA. Come by the Chevy display, say hi. Thanks for being here in person. It is great to be with you. Thanks, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, more awesome stuff to come. You know, just a few minutes ago, we heard from the GM crowd about some brand new, very high-tech Corvettes. And now, we've got some old, high-tech Corvettes of sorts. These two coming up here are being presented by our friends Dave Kindig and Kev Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
Well, good evening.
Welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having us. And more importantly, thanks for all of you guys showing up. We'll show everybody that didn't show up this year how much fun we had.
It's so good to be back. So good to be back in Las Vegas at SEMA.
For sure.
We missed you, SEMA, and we're here and we're ready to party.
Love to hear it. And these guys are partying right now. It's fantastic.
We'll be down shortly.
Yeah, no doubt. Don't drink everything.
Yeah, right. So, talking about a party, you guys bring two cars, both to the stage at the same time. These are awesome.
Thank you. You know, this is actually, well, 22 years in business, but more importantly, 50 years old. I wanted to build a car. When I was 7 years old, I wanted to be a car designer and builder, to be able to actually do a full turnkey car from ground up. There's only 4 or 5 components that are actually reproduction Corvette pieces. Everything else is all built custom for these cars.
Yep. And so you've done some manufacturing, if you will. You got some custom parts and things like that. But now you're just going all the way.
This is what's so beautiful about this, and you guys are going to laugh. This car takes a quarter of the time to build than any other car that we build.
Yeah.
Because it's production, this car took the amount of time it took to build. This one is almost half the amount of time, which means that we can build these cars in less than 3 months.
So what you're telling me is that people are going to be able to get their hands on one of these because you're going to build more.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, we're going to build a lot of them. So these two cars are so special to us because we have 2 very good clients. We have a lot of great clients, but 2 in particular, Rick Cox and Dave Jones. They gave us the opportunity to design and dream and build this car, which allowed us the money to go forward with making a production vehicle. So Dave and Rick, we absolutely love you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity and helping us get ahead of the game a little bit. These are 2 beautiful cars, and I couldn't imagine 2 people that deserve them more, and we're so proud to build them for you guys. So thank you very much.
So,
and Rick says the white one is the best one because they have a competition between the 2. They're best friends.
Yeah, Dave says the blue one's better.
It's in a close second, he says.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I didn't say that.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
You guys are going to race for pinks later, right? Okay.
Let's talk about the car. It's obviously a modern, sleeker adaptation of the very first Corvette.
That's right. So the very first Corvette here is actually from 1953, the styling, which was cool because Rick was born in 1953.
Nice.
So it was fitting that he got car number 1, and of course we wanted to stay true to what the original cars were. The original 1200 built in 1953 were all polo white with red interior.
Yep.
So we wanted to do something that was very representative of that, but of course the 3-inch to 0 sectioning through the center of the car, the headlights that we designed to laid back and sleek, the tail lights. There's so many cool things about the car, and I've always seen the romance of a 53 Corvette. It is such a beautiful design with a couple of tweaks that we made to it. I think it's just a little bit more beautiful.
Well, one of the things that I think is really cool about that 53 in particular is it was kind of an anomaly. I mean, General Motors was not in the fiberglass business, right? So they built like the first one, not really knowing where that was going to go. Body fit, obviously that Blue Flame 6 is probably not part of this.
That's right. So we got rid of the idea of doing anything in the 6-cylinder. We use a Lingenfelter LS7 with LS3 heads, 8-stack injection provided by Borla, which also makes the special muffler, which has a crossover incorporated into a single muffler, so we have the room for it.
Nice.
This car absolutely sounds beautiful. If you heard it obviously pulling up, it rips. It'll go around corners like it's on rails. It looks beautiful, and we're going to keep building these cars.
The LS7, did you go with a wet sump pan or a dry sump?
It's a wet sump.
Nice.
Yep.
you mentioned going around corners, so that's one of the things that was a little bit scary in that 53. I've driven some. They've got a steering wheel the size of a city bus, and it stands straight up and down. But you've got nice seats, and it looks like you're going to stick with the car in the turn.
It's absolutely comfortable. All of the first cars that we've sold are all automatic 480Es, backed with that same motor. We are also going to offer this car in electric.
Did you know that?
Ooh, yeah, he's been telling me.
I know.
I couldn't tell anybody.
Here's the thing.
Then he tells everybody.
I'm a petrol head. I love the smell and the sound and all that stuff, but we got to get kind of with it. Eventually, those cars are going to be so much fun to drive. I've actually drove, which you'll get to see, well, actually you did get to see it. I drove a 58 Apache at the Good Guys show in Salt Lake City. 800 foot-pounds of torque, 450 horsepower, 400 volt. Stock steering and stock brakes, which sucked. But man, did it go. I can only imagine what it'd be like in this car.
Now, you've done a number of Corvettes, and there's a family thing with you in Corvettes, right? I mean, these things are kind of in your blood.
Yeah, so a couple, 3 years ago, we brought my dad's 57 Corvette that we called the Family Affair, that all of our family at Kindig Design, and of course my dad, Richard, we were all working on the car together. It's absolutely fantastic. A few years ago from now as well, we brought the 62 up here of Lloyd Carney's. Another beautiful car, well-tuned, rips. And, you know, I'm not going to turn into a Corvette shop, but at the same time, these are really fun to drive and fun to build.
Absolutely, and they look dynamite, and I'm so glad you guys brought them both up, so we see that they are repeatable. So where are these going to be on display here this week?
So car number 1 of Rick's is going to be in our booth right here. You can't miss it. We've got a huge floor plan, and the car will be on display there. Car number 2 of Dave's is going to be in the Lingenfelter booth, which is in the central hall here over by just behind GM. So stop by, take a look at the details. These cars are absolutely flawless. They're wonderful, and we're excited for everybody to be excited about these cars.
Love it. Thanks again for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave and Kev and the Corvettes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a great show. What do you got, Patrick? Nice. Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as we move these two, that they do sound fantastic, off the stage. This is one of those cool opportunities to kind of look around for a moment and realize that, yes, we are here once again at the SEMA show, at the Monday Night Reveal. A little while ago, we didn't know that this was going to happen, and a little while longer, we thought it would never go away, and there would never be a year where there wasn't a SEMA show. So I know personally, I'm trying to make time to take a moment and look around and just take it in. We're all here, and this could go away again. We don't want it to. Just, I want everybody to appreciate that we're here tonight. How many of us have friends and relatives that say, we have the best job in the world and we get to go to the SEMA show, right? Well, you guys get to also, so you have to appreciate that. And something else that is pretty wild has just pulled up on stage. And I'm excited to learn a little bit more about this legendary car. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Project X.
Yes, pretty awesome capability and ability to, you know, Motor Trend contacted Al Oppenheiser, Chevrolet, and Motor Trend and Hot Rod in general have had a long relationship with Project X. We've done a couple of redos on it, between putting the 427 big block in it and then fuel injecting it, and then you reached out to Al, and Al called me, and here we go.
Well, before we
had like 5 weeks to do it.
Before we get too far into where this is now, for those who don't know the story of Project X, this car was purchased by the editorial staff at Popular Hot Rodding magazine back in 1965. And this was literally found on a used car lot in Santa Monica, California. It was canyon coral with a tan top and two-tone interior and a 283 power pack, 260 horse V8. And the purpose of this car was to bolt different things on each month in the magazine, bring readers along, show them what was happening, show them what those results were, power gains and whatnot. And this car has probably been in more magazines than any. I think in '68 alone it was like 9 issues.
It's been around.
Yes. So the whole purpose of this car was to try out new stuff.
Yeah, and the readers would write in before the internet. They would write a letter to the editor would read it, and decide if it's something good, and he would do it. Then 3 months later, the guy would open the magazine and see his idea done, whether it's a tunnel wrap or eventually EFI.
Yeah, and when they contacted us, I mean, this has personally been one of the iconic cars for me personally. I mean, we used to walk to get the magazines, and I knew that it would be very polarizing. So when we talked on it, we knew that it had to be something future, right? So this basically, in the last few years, you've seen our current production-based package. This is actually based on the future. It's a derivative of what you saw in the Hummer here, 350 horsepower from a single motor. We converted the drive unit, so we actually did a new gear ratio for it. So this one has no transmission. So we went from like a 10.5 to 1 to a 4.5 to 1 ratio, and then put it in longitudinally. And it has a drive shaft that goes right back to the rear end. Put a quick change in it so that if you want to go out and first time we drove it,
Yeah, it was first time we drove it. It wanted to lift the wheels off the ground.
Yeah, we put a pretty high rear ratio in it, and just about popped a wheelie pulling out onto the street. It has all the weight. It's got a 30 kilowatt hour battery in the back. So
700 pounds over the rear axle.
Sure, a little traction out back there. So the last previous version of this car had what, a supercharged LS motor?
Yeah, it had a 671 type blower on a B15 Chevrolet Performance Crate engine.
There you go. And that came out. What did you have to do to electrify Project X?
You know, really the modifications weren't that hard. Packaging the batteries in the back was probably the hardest work. The motor itself bolted in just like you're bolted in a small block once you design the brackets up over at Kaminsky Racing where we did it. They were able to CNC machine the right brackets. There was really nothing changed on the car. I mean, you could switch it back to a gas engine real easy. You could switch it to a dual electric motor. It was really flexible on how it fit in there, how they designed the electric motor.
Yeah, so when this all came around, we spoke last year about our ESVM. So General Motors is working with different companies. We have Lingenfelter. We now have Kaminsky Motorsports. And Vic, when the car showed up, him and his team did a full digital scan of the whole entire car, under hood, underneath. So then that allowed them and us to design all the components in space, CNC, and all the brackets were made.
Yeah, and they scanned all the parts.
Yeah.
So the motor and all the various components and the cooling system and everything for the batteries.
Yeah.
So the car was able to be built virtually, which is why we were able to build the car in 5 weeks. They were able to turn the car.
5 weeks. So you built it like a video game. The thing's spinning around, you're throwing parts on it, next thing you know, the machines spit out the real parts. Obviously some engineering and work goes into putting it together.
A lot of wiring.
Yeah, a lot of wiring.
And there was a lot. So our team, the team back at Powertrain, one of the big hurdles was getting the system to run standalone. And all the new vehicles, there's lots of controls. And
for sure.
So to be able to make it run where the motor would run without having the rest of the vehicle around it. I had an amazing team. Adam and AJ, 2 guys on my team, did.
Yeah, and you guys were able to integrate a C8 Corvette shifter. So the push button C8 shifter.
Yeah, so when you get to see in it, so that it's the ETRS right from that.
Yeah.
So that activates the drive unit.
Well, I got to tell you, it's very unexpected, but at the same time, it makes sense. This is a car that was designed to try out new stuff and be a proving ground.
Project X has always been that way. It's been the car that we've tried new stuff, and people, an EV, and I'm like, well, there's a time when we put EFI on it. We're like, EFI, what's wrong with carburetors? I don't know why you're doing that.
For sure.
And so that's always been the purpose of X, is to try new things. And I say, in 10 or 20 years, it'll be fusion powered, it'll be flying around, it'll be like Back to the Future.
Well, and from our side, if you look, we just came out the same time, the 632,000 horsepower, normally aspirated. Our goal is to be able to cover all the customers, with great product. So this really just kind of bookends our overall crate portfolio.
Well, it just gives hot rodders more options. It's more possibilities on what they can do. They want to go EV route, yeah. They want to go 1,000 horsepower big block, they got that too.
Well, the sense of motion and speed, it doesn't really matter where it comes from. I know that this is controversial. It's very polarizing, like you said. It'll be interesting to show both sides, the advantages and disadvantages. But one of the things that I think is most important about this project is that today we have the freedom to do this. We can do whatever we want. Now, We got to make sure we keep that, which is why I think programs like the RPM Act are so important, so that if you want to, you can electrify your 63 Buick or your 57 Chevy, or if you want to put a 632 in it, or an LT6 crate, you guys got to work on that. Throw that in there and still do that. So the fight is real, and this is just exercising that freedom, and that's what I think is so cool.
It's all about showing what possibilities are out there.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and looking forward to people coming by the booth and taking a look and having some discussion about it.
Get ready to answer questions.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Project X. You didn't hear it come up the stage because it is now electric, and it'll be in the GM display all week. Gentlemen, thank you so much for bringing it up.
Thank you.
I appreciate the chance to learn about it. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Proud moment tonight tomorrow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the show is not over. We are now bringing up a vehicle that is petrol-powered once again, back to the gasoline stuff. You may have seen this truck before, and I'm sure you've probably seen the driver. This is a very special pickup truck that was built a few years ago by our good friend, Mr. Chip Foose. Welcome, Chip. Welcome back to the SEMA reveal, my friend. Yeah, come on out. Come on over here in front of the truck because it was blocking the view. Ladies and gentlemen, Chip Foose.
And Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So this is, it's a big year for you, my friend.
Yes, it is, and I have to thank SEMA for allowing us to do this, to give us this space and to be able to bring all of these customers' cars together. The oldest build is from 1995. I don't have anything new this year. Things are in the shop, we're still working on them, but this is just a presentation of a lot of old cars.
Well, so if you're not familiar with what Chip is talking about, over there in the North Hall, there is a huge display of Foose-built vehicles, and they go back from the Boyd Coddington days.
We've got some of Boyd's cars, and this is an overhauling project. Some work that I did with Troy Trepanier.
Yeah, absolutely. Sniper.
Yeah, and
you guys did the top shop on that one, right?
On Sniper?
Yeah.
Well, I designed that car. I did all the initial sheet metal work. Worked with Bobby Walden down in Borger, Texas, and built the buck for the top, made sure the windows would work. I did the taillights in it, flipped the bumpers, did the wedge section, and then my good friend at Chrysler, Tom Gale, he donated the Viper Coupe to us, and then that's what we put the entire undercarriage is that.
That car was unveiled here at the Hot Rod Hall of Fame 50th anniversary.
Yeah, I think that was 97.
97, yeah. And the car's called the Sniper because it was a Plymouth Savoy smashed into a Viper.
A Viper, yes.
The Sniper. And the way they unveiled this thing is they had a military parachute over it. Remember that?
Yes.
And they pulled the chute, and here's the car. So there is so much history with the stuff that you've built, and I love to see that so many of these are still looking like they were just finished.
Yeah, so we've got 20 cars there. The oldest car is the Boyd Air, which we did in '95 when I was at Boyd Coddington shop. We built that car in 17 weeks from the sketch to the build. And the whole theme of that car is, what if in 1957 GM was actually playing with the 59 proportions? So it's the proportions of a 59 Impala, but it's a 57 Chevy. And we've got that there, and like I say, 20 other cars, 4 Riddler winners, 2 Amber winners, and just a lot of fun cars. The customers were, nice enough to allow us to bring them out here. And then we've got a stage set up, and I'll be there every day doing drawings. And what I want to do is, with audience participation, you guys are going to tell me what to draw.
Right on.
And somebody in the audience is going to win that drawing when I'm done.
That is very cool. Love to hear that.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to having a great week.
You glazed over something in that last sentence, though. I don't know that 4 Riddler winners have ever really appeared in the same place at any time in the past, have they? In recent memory? And you're going to see it right in here.
I don't know if I've ever had all 4 of them together. I've had 3 of them together.
I mean, and not just yours. I mean, anytime. I mean, that is truly amazing to see 4 Riddler winners, plus AMBR, plus cars that you've seen in magazines and seen all over the place.
What I'm really happy about is the space that we were able to get And to have these cars spread out, normally when we put a collection together, they're right next to each other, so you really don't get to walk around each car. But these have plenty of room. You can get around and see every angle of the cars, and it's really fun. We've got some big banners hanging behind with some of the artwork.
Yeah.
It's just a pleasure to be here. So.
And you've got other artwork on display in the show as well, right?
I'm sure there is.
Well, seeing the big renderings hang overhead really kind of lets you connect the dots between this one and that one. But this particular truck has always been very significant to you.
This is my first car that I ever owned. And I bought this truck from my father in 1978. I was 14 years old. And he used the money that I gave him to buy this to buy my younger sister a little go-kart that she drove around at the high school. She was the high school mascot. And if you've ever heard of progeria, which is rapid aging, my sister Amy in 1985 unfortunately passed away from progeria. She was 16 years old, she was 3 feet 2 inches tall and weighed 26 pounds, but had a heart the size of America. Everybody that met Amy absolutely fell in love with Amy. And I've recently started a new charity called Amy's Depot. And we're generating some money so we can help these kids, because Progeria Research Foundation is out of Boston, and they're discovering, the genes and what it is that causes this disease. There are only 40 kids, generally that's the average, in America alive with that disease at any time. 250 worldwide. It's one of the rarest diseases on the planet. But we're luckily being able to help, and we recently did a clinical trial with a new drug that they had developed. And I remember Sam, who was the son of the two doctors that started Progeria Research. We would do an event at Brazelton year one every year. We raised money for Progeria. And Sam was there one year, and I had seen him the year before. And Sam had grown about, I'm guessing, around 4 inches this next year.
Really?
And I said to Sam, I said, well, I was talking to his dad, Scott, and I said, Scott, how much has he grown and how much weight has he gained in the last year? And when you're doing a clinical trial, you can't actually give any of the details out. You have to keep everything under wraps until it's finished.
But you could see it.
Oh, I could see it. And he said, I can't tell you any of that information. And I turned to Sam and I said, Sam, do you have any new clothes? He said, all my clothes are new.
That's great.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So it's a pleasure to be able to help out the kids with Progeria and help Progeria Research Foundation. But with Amy's Depot, I want to raise money to help a lot of different kids.
Well, that's fantastic. And round of applause for that. And I love that you're going to be doing drawings here, and I know you know this, but there are so many people that you've helped just for the inspiration to pick up a pencil or pick up a marker and a piece of paper, and don't be afraid, and to draw something. And watching your videos online, when you see a finished one, you're like, wow, I could never do that. When you see how you do it, you're like, well, maybe I can give that a shot. So we thank you for that.
No, it's my pleasure. When I went to Art Center, my first teacher, he had all of us in the class, we brought out, they give you a list of everything you need to bring in. And there was we had to bring a drawing pad. And all of us have our drawing pads out on the table. And he says, okay, I want everybody to pull out the first sheet of paper. And we're all, struggling to make sure we get it out. We don't rip it, we don't wrinkle it. He says, now hold it up in front of you, and we're all holding this piece of paper. And he says, now crush it. And he just crushes a piece of paper. He said, never forget, it's just a piece of paper. No matter how long you work on it, it's just a piece of paper. Know when to stop and know when to start over.
It's a great lesson. Well, Chip, it's always a pleasure, but I'm going to bring somebody up now. I'm sure you know Mr. Chris Kirsting, our CEO of SEMA, because he's got something he wants to chat with you about. But it's always great to see you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Welcome.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks. Great job. Hey, brother.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great to see you, too. Look at all these people, man.
This is awesome.
Thank you all for being here.
We have SEMA going on again.
Right.
I missed you last year.
Yeah. Listen, just a few minutes here. I want to do a little special recognition for somebody who's brought a lot both to the industry, to our association, to this SEMA show. A little special recognition for Chip Foose tonight. I could spend a lot of time up here just hitting the high points of the many things that you've done to contribute to all of this, but I'll try and be pretty brief. We'll start in a couple of categories. In media.
I'm going to stop you for 1 second because I want to thank you for what you're doing with all the young guns.
You beat me to it. It's derailing. Yeah, I'll get to the young guns.
I was excited. I spent some time with them today, and oh, it's just awesome.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that because not everybody knows what we're talking about. But I wanted to talk about in the very beginning. Chip was a pioneer bringing television to the SEMA show. I think it was the pilot episode of Ride. 2002.
With Bud and I, yeah.
Just fantastic. And then that kind of evolved into a first ever really awesome thing here at the show.
That was the first show that there was a car actually built and documented on a show.
So we then had Overhaul in studio here, right? I don't know how many years we did that.
I lost 27 pounds building that car here.
So some of you may remember this. This was a 4-day Overhaul and build, delivered that car to the winner right here at the SEMA show. Fantastic stuff.
I'd do it again today.
Well, hey, you might get that chance. Then on with History Channel, Discovery Channel, with Motor Trend TV. But the important thing about all of this is it all went out there to help build the interest in customization, modification, and now it's, of course, gone crazy with social media and the internet, but that early television work was pioneering.
Well, Overhauling was the first live event ever done at SEMA.
That's right.
Look what it has created.
It's fantastic.
It's awesome.
And then we wanted to talk a little bit about Heart. You just mentioned Amy's Depot. A lot of charitable stuff that Chip has been doing over the years, but some people don't know, over on the SEMA side, the number of hours, the talent, the effort that you brought to our WD-40 builds that then went off to be charitable auction vehicles, came back hundreds of thousands of dollars for our SEMA Cares charities. Awesome stuff there. We really appreciated that. And then for our SEMA programs and services, and I just want to hit a couple. You mentioned Young Guns. So early on, Chip was one of our contestants in Battle of the Builders, was a finalist a couple times, and at one of these shows he said, hey man, I want to sit down with you for just a couple of minutes and talk about something. I have this idea, and it's about developing a youth component to the Battle of the Builders program. He said, you know, I came to this SEMA show and I was really discovered here, and I want to work with you guys at SEMA to develop a program that brings young builders here and gives them a chance to be seen, to be discovered, and to break into this world. And so we penciled this thing out. We now have a program out there at car shows all around the country, a contest within the car show to bring young people. The winners get to come here. We bring 12 or so finalists each year now to the SEMA show. They actually compete with the big boys in the Battle of the Builders. We have a couple of them have made it to the finals. It's been very exciting. And that program's now established, up and running, doing great, and we're bringing a lot of young talent to the SEMA show.
Well, they're not just young guns, because all of us were young guns at one point. They are SEMA's future.
I kind of remember that. It was a long time ago.
But they are SEMA's future.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why we need to embrace that.
Yeah. Another thing that most people don't know too much about is Chip's support for our SEMA Launchpad program. Launchpad is kind of our SEMA version of Shark Tank. You know, we try and put a spotlight on great innovations, great new ideas, and this year especially, Chip has given us a lot of time, a lot of effort. We're doing a television production connected to Launchpad, but he's served as a judge. He's helped us out on the TV production side of it. And this year we're going to have the finals at the SEMA Awards Banquet on Thursday night. It's going to be live. It's going
Got
to be
make sure
exciting.
you're there, because you guys are going to decide who the final winner is.
Right. So suffice it to say, for 2 decades of contributions to the SEMA world, to the industry, to all those enthusiasts out there who've been lit up by the stuff that you do, join me in a little recognition for Chip Foose. Thank you so much, sir. Let me grab a little something for you. Here we go. Right on.
Wow.
There you go, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you mentioned, you know, trying to bring back maybe a little overhauling, or maybe doing a little bit more with young guns. We're waiting for you, brother.
Well, we were going to do another build this year, but unfortunately, some key components got pulled out, and we weren't able to do it this year. But hopefully, we'll be able to do it again at another SEMA.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chip Foose, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And how about a big round of applause to SEMA for bringing together all of the vehicles that are here for the Chip Foose experience.
Hey,
I can't thank you enough.
You know, this is our exhibitor. This is our exhibitor appreciation dinner as well. Thanks to all of the folks out there, our exhibitors who make this show happen. Nothing happens if you don't show up. And in this tough year, we really appreciate y'all showing up. We're going to have a great single week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your week.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Kirsting and Chip Foose. That is beautiful. Thank you, sir. All right, my friend. So,
right on, brother.
This it's been a very special night and a lot of very special vehicles. And again, we totally appreciate everybody coming out. We're not completely finished. We're going to hear some more music from our buddy Patrick. But again, thank all of you for coming out tonight and sharing time with us. We'll see you later, buddy. And don't forget to check out that Foose display and everything else. And listen, have the best SEMA ever. Take advantage of all the opportunities that are here. And you guys made the effort to come out. Make it count. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick, thank you so much.